Hello, everybody. Welcome inside another swimming and diving player profile. We're in Boardman this time around. It is Gina DiNapoli joining us today. Gina, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Exciting time for you. You have qualified for state in a couple of different events. What's it like for you to obviously reach a goal that you've been working for all season?
It's been great. Last year, I got a taste of what it felt like to go to such a big meet like this, and to be able to, all the work pay off throughout the season, and to get to this point again is such a fun and exciting experience.
Considering that last year, like you said, was your taste, you got an idea of what it feels like. Has that made this week leading up to it any easier and a little bit less stressful, knowing exactly what to expect?
It made it easier just to, know what I'm getting myself into when I get to the meet. Like, it's just such a high caliber. Like, the swimmers and the talent that's at this meet is nothing like I've ever seen before. But it also added to the pressure because I've went there before. So myself, I was expecting myself to, make it there again. And it was more pressure, I think, throughout the season to get to this point like I did last year.
Let's talk about this district qualifier that you had over the weekend. Obviously successful. You get qualified to state. What was going through your mind? Like you said, you're trying. There's a lot more pressure because you made it last year, and maybe that brings expectations to make it again from the outside world. What was it like this year to go back into that district meet and to be able to just kind of lock in and have the success you had?
It felt, like you said, like a lot of pressure was going like into the meet, but me and my fellow like relay members and my teammates, like we all knew like what it took to get to the level that we wanted to go to and to get to this meet this weekend. And we did all the practices, we put in all the work, and it was all that work just led up to that one moment to get us here.
Before we talk about the relays that you're a part of that got to state, let's talk about your individual, the 100-meter butterfly. Not only did you qualify for state, but you also broke a school record in doing it. I mean, that's success, and then you're raising the bar a little bit. What was that like?
It was great. It was a personal PR because I've broken this record last year, so I had it throughout the season. And to be able to get my fastest time that I've ever swam and to break that record for the second time was a crazy experience, and it felt amazing.
I mean, that's swagger. What's that like to not just break a record, but break your own record and be able to say, "Yeah, I broke it. I have the first two names now on that board."
It was crazy. I Going into it, I was like, I know what time I have to get to qualify for state and to beat my own time, and to be able to do both at the same time was incredible.
We're kind of having fun with you breaking records, but in swimming, you're always competing against yourself. No matter if you have the record or not, you always want to get the personal record, always want to beat your personal best. What's that like to constantly be kind of competing with yourself a little bit? And when you get in the pool, it's just you in the water competing with yourself for your personal times.
Swimming is such a mental sport. Like, I always try to, beat myself and beat my old times and to keep getting better. So when you get and you do all the work during the season and to see it all pay off at the end of you getting faster and you beating, yourself in the past, it's always a cool like thing for you to feel that, you're putting in the work and the effort and it's paying off.
All right, so two relays that you got qualified for. Start with the 200 medley. Obviously, that's the first one we're going to talk about. What was it like in that relay? Obviously, a couple of different faces in it than the other one. What's it like to have a relay like that and to be able to work together with your teammates to qualify for state as well?
Before the relay even started, we were behind the blocks, and me and my fellow relay, Petra and Allie and Alex, we were all, nervous and antsy about it because, we were going in at a good time. Like, our seed time for the meet was good. So it was looking good to, have it advance to state. But you never know what's going to happen when you step on the block, and you never know who's going to go faster or if something might happen. So we were all pretty nervous. But going up to the block, we were all just like, we've done all the work. Whatever happens, happens. And it paid off in the end.
So then when we talk about the 200 free, it's you and Alex and Petra again, but you add Abby to the mix, which means there are now 5 swimmers on the girls' side that have qualified for state. We'll talk about that relay and what went so right and what was so successful about it.
We went into that. We obviously had a new relay member into it, different from our medley, and we went into it feeling nervous like the last time, but we kicked off the meet in a really, really good energy with, automatically qualifying. So we had a good, base going into the 200 free. And again, we just talked and we were like, whatever happens, happens.
Right.
But, like, let's get to like next week.
What's it like to be a part of a team that is taking 5 people to state? I mean, obviously, you and Alex both qualified individually as well as the relays, but then you have 2 relays as well. 5 members of the team going to state. That's got to be an exciting room to be a part of.
It was amazing when we were on a bus ride home and, we were just getting all the results from the other districts and really, knowing officially like what place we were. And it was amazing to be able to be such high ranked going into this really, really fast meet. Is just a really exciting experience and like one that most people don't get to have. And to be able to have it is truly a blessing.
Then, of course, when you include the boys, you have 9 swimmers going to state because they have 2 relays
Mm-hmm.
that are also qualified. So don't want to leave them out. So 9 swimmers at Boardman. I mean, what is it about this whole program that is so special that allows that kind of success?
I mean, we have a great coaching staff. Coach Carlo, Coach Chelsea, and Coach Mark. They really have us put in the work during the season. So then when we do go on to taper, we drop a bunch of time, we PR, and we really get the results that we have. And to have such a good support system and other fellow teammates and, parents and friends who come and support us, I think it really does help and make a difference.
We've talked about already competing against yourself and your individual times and how individualistic this sport can really be, but you're also a part of a team. How do you balance that? How are you able to say, okay, I have to focus on my individual times and my individual races, but it's also there for my teammates, there for my relays, there for the people that are with me too, and we have to be a team as well.
To be able to excel in these relays, everybody has to put in the same amount of work. I mean, if you go your fastest time in a relay split, then your relay will be faster. And if everybody goes faster, then, you'll get the results that you want. And to be able to, work as a team in that sense of just pushing yourself during practice, you know, my relay members are in my lane during practice. So we push each other because we all know where we want to be at the end of the season, where we want to go.
What's it like competing against your teammates in practices and in the meets and to be able to kind of test yourself against the people in the room that you know what they're capable of too?
I think it pushes everybody still, and it allows us to work harder and to really know like how far we want to go.
You brought up your coaching staff, which is great. I mean, Coach Carlo, we've talked to him multiple times. Just a fantastic swimming coach. What's it been like to just have him to be there with you guys and to mold all you guys, not just the swimmers in the pool, but I'm sure as people as well.
It's been great. He's been my coach since I was 6, so I've known him my whole life. And I don't think I would be such a good swimmer if it wasn't for him and always believing in me and pushing me to my limit to make me succeed.
So you started at 6 with Coach Carlo. When did you start to realize that swimming was something that you loved and you wanted to work hard at and you wanted to, spend more and more time in the pool?
I think it was when I was about 10, maybe. That's kind of when I started getting from bad to better. Um, and I started putting in the time and doing club swim and putting more time than just, a summer league.
From bad to better to greatness to going to state. It's a whirlwind, right? What kind of things do you think of when you reflect? I'm sure you've been reflecting a lot, qualifying for state 2 years in a row, and some of the things that you memories you've made and the accomplishments you've been able to already have. What kind of things come to mind when you reflect on your swimming career?
Um, it's insane because when I was little, I never expected myself to get as far as I've come and to, be at such a high caliber of swim. And it gets emotional thinking about, little 6-year-old me and now me going to the biggest meet in the state.
And the crazy thing is, you still have one more year. You're just a junior, class of 25. What's it like kind of transitioning as an upperclassman and starting to think about your future a little bit? College is on the horizon. You still have a year left, but you have to start putting it in your mind. What's that been like for you handling all the stresses that come with the transition from sophomore to junior year?
Going into junior year, I knew that there was going to be more of like a leadership aspect into this season. I knew that as an upperclassman, I'd have to, you know, show the newer underclassmen like the ropes of things and be a good leader and a good role model for them, someone they could look up to and be inspired by. But I also think that by being an upperclassman, it gives myself a little more pressure to doing good and to, you know, being that person that people want to be when they grow up.
How much do you get to see the youth that's coming up and the girls that were, you when you were 6 working as they're young now, trying to be where you are, when they get in high school? How much do you get to interact with them, and what's it like being a role model for those people?
During the summertime in our summer swim league, I'm a junior coach, so I get to work with some of the kids during practice and mess around with them in the pool and kind of give them pointers and give them tips. And to be able to work with them and know that like they're also looking up to me and they know all the things that I've accomplished and being that I was like them 10 years ago is something really like inspiring.
One of the things I always have to hit every time I talk about swimmers is I don't think people understand the physical like shape that you have to be in to swim. Talk about the work and the conditioning and the things that you have to put your body through to be a very good swimmer.
Practices are long. We wake up at 5:30. We have lifting from 6 to 7 Mondays and Wednesdays throughout like the regular season. And then, things start to die down. But to have a 2-hour practice right after school, it's a lot to physically, wake up early in the morning, go home, do your homework. It's just a lot of balancing.
That is something that you have to have a drive to do. What drives you? I'm sure there are days when you don't want to get up early and go to practice, or you don't want to, go right after school and do another 2-hour practice in the pool. What gets you through those days? What keeps you driven?
It's my love for the sport. I've loved the sport since I was little, and it's also the outcome and the results that I'll get from all the hard work that's been put in.
It's a junior year, so we have to ask. I mean, do you see a possibility of a future of swimming after high school? Do you think that swimming in college is something that you might be interested in?
It's something that's on my mind. I'd really love to keep doing the thing that I love doing, um, and I'd like to continue to do it during college. But I'm hope this season has really been a lot of me focusing on the future of my swimming career, and that's been the big focus.
Swim or not, college is going to help you get into a career. Do you have any kind of past that you're starting to think about of things you want to do with your future, or majors you might want to go into?
I'd like to stick with something still related to sports just because it's been such a big part of my life. Either like physical therapy or sports medicine, something still related to something that I love.
My last question for you is dealing with adversity. I know every athlete gets to a point that you're at, and you have to deal with some kind of adversity. What do you think is the biggest form of adversity you've had to face in your career? And tell us how you got past it.
I've had a couple. My freshman year and sophomore year were kind of rough. I was going through a lot of, health issues. I had COVID, so I was, out of the pool for a while. But it was really just getting back in the pool and making sure that I made the most out of all the practices that I was able to have. And, the setbacks that I had just made me work harder and get where I wanted to be.
What inspired you during those setbacks to just keep that working mentality?
It was the final outcome, and it was all the hard work that I knew had to
Mhm.
be put in to get where I wanted to be towards the end of the season, and it really showed last season when we qualified for state.
All right, before we let you go, we do this with all of our player profiles. I want to give you the chance to take the spotlight off of you for a minute and shine it on the people in your life. I want you to give your shout outs to all the people that support you that you wouldn't be here without, and I want you to make sure they get the limelight a little bit to end this interview.
I'd love to thank my coaches, Coach Chelsea, Coach Mark, Coach Carlo and Coach Terry from the Y. They've really pushed me to make me the swimmer that I am. I'd like to thank my teammates for always supporting me and pushing me through practices. And I'd like to thank my family and friends for supporting me outside of the pool.
All right, Gina, we want to wish you the best of luck in state. We wish you the best of luck, like I said, and we can't wait to talk to you in real soon. Man, we're proud of you here at YSN. Keep grinding.
Thank you.